Hi, I'm Catherine Gray, founder of She Angel Investors and co founder of the She Angels Foundation. I'm also the podcast host of Invest in Her and an award winning producer, author, and TEDx speaker. Our show, Invest in Her, features phenomenal female founders and funders. As you know, women receive less than 2% of venture capital funding. Our series is about accelerating the funding of women by connecting them to funding resources. Let's meet today's guest. Welcome to this week's edition of Invest in Her. I'm your host, Catherine Gray, founder of She Angel Investors and co-founder of the She Angels Foundation, and also the executive producer of the movie Show Her the Money and the general partner at Silicon Valley Women Founders Fund. As you know, every week you can expect to have incredible guests on the show. Today is no different. We have on my dear friend, Jane Ubell-Meyer, who is the founder of Bedside Reading. So excited to have her on and talk about how she gets authors out there to luxury hotels and audiobooks and very exciting opportunities that nobody else offers. Let's welcome to the show, Jane. Hi, Jane. How are you?
Catherine, thanks so much. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, you have such a unique program for authors, and I'm excited to talk about it today. I know I've sent many authors your way because I think you have a really unique way for people to get their books out there. And we're going to talk about that. But first, I want to talk about your background. With an exciting background in TV and film. And, let's talk about it because I know you have produced some shows for like Good Morning America, who I was just listening to this morning, Entertainment Tonight, super fun channel. Tell us a little bit about that and then how you transitioned into this new book company that you founded.
Thanks so much for asking, Catherine. So my career is long because we're at that age. We've had a long career. And I started my career actually at Good Morning America. I climbed the ranks from intern, receptionist, researcher, writer, producer. And then I moved on to different shows. I was actually Regis's first producer back in the day, if you remember Regis Philbin. And I went on to work with Tom Snyder at ABC News. And I went on to Entertainment Tonight and created a talk show for the Wall Street Journal TV. I
Oh,
produced a couple
wow.
of movies. I was actually a manager in LA for writers, directors, and actors. And it was from my writers that I ended up being a movie producer, which was amazing. Great career.
And I have to stop you there for 1 second. So you've produced several films, but one of them that really stuck in my mind, I have to ask you about, is the film about Leona Helmsley, the
Yes.
Queen of Mean. I mean, what was it like working on that?
So first of all, it's a great, great story. I actually met this guy at a cocktail party, and after the cocktail party, this is a good lesson for everybody there. Listen, this guy no vibes, no chemistry. I went back to LA. The party was in New York, came back to LA. I got a note from my assistant, like a sticky saying, "Oh, this guy called you. He wants to talk to you." And I'm thinking, "Oh my God, he wants to ask me out." Like that's where I went. And I was just not interested. But what happened was that, I said, I'll call him back because my father's always said to me, "You call everybody back before the end of the day. That's your job." Which I did. So at 8 o'clock LA time, 11 o'clock New York time, I called this guy back thinking I'm going to get a voicemail. He's not in the office, but he actually picked up the phone because I didn't know this, but he worked at home from home at the time. And he said, and I thought he was going to ask me out. And he said, "Jane, I got the rights to a book. Do you want to make this into a movie?" And I actually said yes. The minute I heard it was Leona Helmsley, the Queen of Mean. This is like a really great story. And I want to tell you, I did actually write a book. It's a #1 bestseller on Amazon called From Wanting to Having It. And the minute I said yes, I had this vision, really this knowingness that this was really going to happen. And I spent 2 weeks calling every production company in LA saying, "I have the rights to Leona Helmsley, the Queen of Me." And I actually attached an actress to it. And I said, "Do you want to make this?" And everyone said no. And I couldn't figure this out. And I had a bad business partner at the time who said, "Jane, let it go. don't, it's never going to happen. I basically said the F word. I said, it will happen, F you, and I'm going to make it happen. And on the 37th call to a production company, I was so angry at my former business partner. I said, do I have the rights to this movie? I have this actress attached. Do you want to make this, yes or no? And they said, yes. And it ended
I
up
love
being
it.
a great experience. And it was like the number one movie of the year for CBS. It was a CBS TV movie, and we got 4 Emmy nominations, something like that. And it was a really successful um, movie. And at the end of the day, here are the lessons I learned. If you have a knowingness and a vision of what you want, you need to take action. You have to get all those negative people in your head, get rid of them, hyper focus, don't let anybody stop you, and just do it. As Nike says, we just do it. And you know what? I got it made. It was a big success and it changed my life. It gave me the confidence to do anything. I mean, to get a movie made in Hollywood, as you know, Catherine, is a
Yes.
big deal.
Yes.
Ended up making 2 other movies, but that movie was so important to me as a human being.
Yes.
And
I love that.
at the end of the day, Alan Dershowitz, we took a lot of E&O insurance, believe me, errors and emissions insurance to make sure if Leona didn't like it and she sues everybody, she was extremely litigious in her day. We wouldn't be if we can handle that if she sued. She didn't. Her lawyer at the time, Alan Dershowitz, called our team and said she loved the movie. She just didn't like one of the scenes where she and Harry, her husband, and she didn't like the dialogue. And the husband was played by, um, let's see, it was Suzanne Pleshette and it was Lloyd Bridges was the husband who played Harry
So
Helmsley.
wait, Suzanne Pleshette played her.
She was awesome.
Oh my God. She
She
was an
was
amazing
brilliant.
actress, beautiful.
Right.
No wonder she didn't mind.
She was beautiful and sexy and really, it was great. So it was a great experience. But I learned so many lessons that have stayed with me all these years later as I built my company. And then after that,
I feel very aligned with you on this because I think people do get a download. I felt that with every big project that I've worked on, from Show Her the Money to one I did years ago called I Can't Marry You. But you get that download and you know beyond a shadow of a doubt
yes,
that this is going to happen, and you don't know how. It's that old thing where they say you don't have to know how. You just have to know that it's meant to be, and then it will fall into place
oh, I
if you
have
do
chills
the
on my arm.
work and take the
Yes.
action, right? That's the key part that people forget. You have to do the work and take the action. But I love that you wrote this book. It's a #1 bestseller and people can find it online, From Wanting to Having It. And I love that you say it's manifesting love, cash, career, and parking spaces.
It's true.
Love
Listen,
your sense of humor.
if you're gonna be with me in New York City and I have my car with me, we'll find a parking space right in front of where we need to go every time. It's one of those things that I do. It's just magic.
I love it. Well, let's
It's magic.
transition from that incredible background. And by the way, how did you end up in Hollywood? Where were you born?
So I was born in New York and I went to Colorado College. I went back to New York in I guess when I was about 22, 21, 22. And I ended up in Hollywood because after I worked at ABC and I was Tom Snyder's producer, writer and producer, um, I got fired from the job. And it was the first time I'd been fired. Or second time I'd been fired. I was crying and well, Tom Snyder said to me, look, Jane, they're going to let you go. It's because I was fighting with the executive producer because I came from Good Morning America and I was booking and writing segments that were like from Bette Midler and like big people. And the executive producer kept saying to me, you know, Jane, we're a local show. It was ABC in New York. And I said, yeah, but New York is an international audience.
Yeah.
We just kept butting heads and it was oil and water. And
But
the
don't
minute,
you find whenever you're let go from something, it's always because the universe has a bigger and better plan. So obviously that's how you ended up in LA.
right. So the minute Tom Snyder said to me, Jane, they're going to let you go. And I went to my office, closed the door, called up Jack Riley, who was the former executive producer for Good Morning America. He was now at ET in LA. And I said, Jack, it's Jane. Do you have anything for me? And he goes, New York or LA? And I don't know why, but I said LA. And I was all, New Yorker through and through. And he said, come on out. You got to meet the brass at Paramount. They got to accept you. And then I want you to start April 1st. So I just want to share something with you. Everybody, listen up. There are times in your life, like I'm talking about months, where magic happens. And in my life, magic happens between March 27th and like April 8th or April 9th. I ended up moving to New York, to LA, March 27th. My parents were married March 27th. I reconnected with my husband on March 30th. I made big moves in my life in that time frame. And now, and my best friend Noreen Fraser passed away March 27th, which changed my life too. And going back to the career, after I was doing some other things, I had a big celebrity gifting company in LA called Madison and Mulholland. We were the number one. We did the Oscars, the Emmys, the Grammys. But on March 27th, 2017, Noreen passed away from breast cancer. And when she passed away, I stopped what I was doing. I ended my business and I said to Noreen from the other side, and I believe she's here, what should I do? And then bedside reading, an old memory came up where I remember when I was 22, I met this guy and he goes, Jane, if you learn how to scuba dive, I'll take you to the Caribbean. So like an idiot, I jumped into the pool at the YMCA in New York City, learned how to scuba dive. We went to St. Martin's. Upon entering the door of the suite, he turns to me, goes, Jane, I like you, but not interested in you. And I was devastated. And the only thing that saved my 7 days of scuba diving was a book, 544-page book by Anne Rice that I brought at the last minute. So I always remembered when you travel, always take a book with you, whether it's an audiobook, an ebook, a physical book. You need to constantly be having something to help your soul.
So
And
this
then,
is a great transition into your new endeavor that
yes,
we want everybody to know about. And I say new, you've been doing this for years, but you have a new
8 years.
iteration of it.
Right.
And that is for authors out there that you have bedside readings, which puts their book into luxury hotels all over
Yes.
the country. And
Yes.
and now you have a new iteration because you're launching the bedside reading audio
Book
book
collection.
collection. And that is happening in that magical time
I
frame
know.
that you
That's why
always have your epiphanies and your awesome endeavors happen and
right.
birth. So let's talk about that since this is April 9th now that we're airing. You're
Yes.
launching it today. So tell everybody what Bedside Readings
Okay.
is
Okay.
for authors out there that have a book they need to get out there.
So the first thing I want to tell you, as a former TV producer and a movie producer, I want to tell you that it's not, everything you do, you have to be marketing. So what I learned was that it's not one medium. You have to take a book and keep pushing it out, whether it's TV, print, digital, social media, print media, whatever. You have to keep on pushing out a book. And I noticed that so many authors, and now I'm an author too, so I get it totally, an empath here. So I went, oh my God, how do I keep doing this? So one vehicle is that we decided to create a way for authors to place their books in the best hotels in America, the Aquilina, the Waldorf Astoria Monarch Beach, the Conrad New York, the Conrad DC, in the we have 10 hotels in the Hamptons, etc. And so authors can place their digital book, their ebook, audiobook, physical book in all of our hotels. And then we get the hotels to snapshot the book somewhere on the property and put it out on Instagram or Facebook and in their newsletters. So they're pushing it out, we're pushing it out, the author pushes it out. So it's layer, 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 layer. What I noticed that the audiobook program that we have, so every single guest gets a bookmark. They can scan the QR code, get access to free audiobooks. What we notice is that the audiobook program is skyrocketing because people love audiobooks. It's going to be an $8 billion industry. So we created a bedside reading audiobooks.com audiobook collection at bedsidereadingaudiobooks.com. And we've made it available to the general public. It's $25 for about 50 plus books. It makes it about 83 cents per download. That's what we kind of figured out with everything that we're doing.
And typically that would maybe be $15 per download.
Typically.
Yeah.
So as we're talking, what we decided to do was to make sure that it's a curated list. So let me tell you why it is. As you know, I'm an opinionated person and I love my books. I love to tell people what to watch and what to read. And there are books in our collection that actually changed my life, literally changed my life. There's one book called The Science of Women Getting Rich. And I know that this is right in your wheelhouse. So, Catherine, you may not need to read it, but I'm going to tell you to listen to it. When you listen to Sarah Canal, who's an extraordinary person, she's the narrator of her book, you are so inspired to take action, to change the way you make money, how much money you make, and to get through different blocks of traumas. And it's not, you're not going to go into therapy here, trust me. I did one of her exercises as like, well, let me see if this works, like a joke. And I did it and I tripled the number that I said I was going to make during that week. Tripled it.
Wow, that's
It's
amazing.
awesome. So there is a system that she has for making money. And I'm going to tell you, women who love money, let's go make some money. And there are
That's
also,
it.
there's a book coming up that I cannot believe I have. I got it today. So by the time you see this and listen to the podcast, you will have this book. Book is called We Don't Die. So as I mentioned, Noreen Fraser, my best friend who passed away, by the way, she was the one that created Stand Up to Cancer. It was her
Oh,
idea,
wow.
which made $110 million the first round out. She was brilliant. And of course, my
Amazing.
BFF. So in this book, We Don't Die, Sandra Champlain, her father passes away, and she's very upset and really can't get over it. And she takes this journey of proving that there's life after death. And it's hilarious. Oh
Yeah,
my God, the things that she did to prove that there is life after death. It's a must read for anybody grieving. Because
I
when
love
you're
that.
grieving, this is the only book that helped me get over Noreen's passing
Wow.
because
That's powerful.
I went from deep depression and sadness to joy. And now Noreen's
Mhm.
here with us. She's just on the other side. It's fine.
Yeah.
I get to be with her, in maybe 30 years or whatever, but I'm here with her now and she is fueling this and she is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I always feel like people from the other side kind of message that they could do more for us where they are now than they could here on the planet.
Right. But
And yeah,
let me jump in. I want to share with you a lesson I learned from actually, of all people, my chiropractor. Ready? When you want to connect with anybody on the other side, you have to let go of grieving and be in a place of joy because the energy, you're raising your vibrational energy of joy and happiness and love. That's the energy that people from the other side can relate to. They cannot relate to grieving.
interesting. I
So if
like that.
you want to reach out to loved ones, be happy, be joy, be, tell a joke, be funny.
Love it. I'm all for it. And one of the biggest things I want to share today is a lot of people don't know that we have a book coming out. It's the same name as the movie, Show Her the Money. It's coming out in May, but right now we've already launched the audio file for you to be able to listen to it on, of course, Bedside Readings, audiobooks.com.
Right?
And you can go on there and listen to it today if you want. And guess who we had do the voice? You know, Jane, but I'm going to share it with our listeners. The incredibly talented Sharon Gless, who, of course, is an executive producer on our film, but she did the voice for the book, and you are absolutely going to love it. She is a rock star. And I think you're going to love the book because the book is about the people of the movie and the movement. And so anybody that was in the cast and then all of the investors and producers that helped make the film possible, I started thinking, oh my God, they all have extraordinary stories that give people hope and inspiration. Let's make this into a book. So Show Her the Money book, the audio file you can listen to at, let's give them the,
Right, bedside reading audiobooks.com.
there you go. So be sure to check out Jane's audio collection. It's curated, as she said, and they could get a discount, right?
They can get a discount, right? We're giving a discount and it'll be on the link that you'll provide.
Fantastic. Well, everybody, so happy to introduce you to Bedside Reading. Jane Ubell is just has a genius idea of how to get your books out there, both your hard book, your ebook, and your audio books. And it's super exciting to have her on today because I think authors are always trying to figure out unique ways to get their book out there. And this is certainly one of the most unique that I've come across. So happy to share your
Thank you.
vision and your opportunity to everybody today. Jane, what's the best way for them to reach you?
I think the best way is to go to jane@bedsidereading.com. And if you go to any of our websites, you'll find ways to contact me or Instagram, follow us on Instagram at Bedside Reading. I always answer everybody. And, because as I told you, what my father taught me, which is always answer your emails before you go to sleep at night,
Yeah,
everybody.
I
So
tried to do that myself. And I want to mention it's bedside reading, that's singular.com. I mean, that's a common mistake. And I just want to point that out. And you're on LinkedIn?
yes, I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. You can't get rid of me. We have a magazine coming out. We have all these kinds of wonderful programs for authors. We can make an author a bestseller. We can get them, podcasts. We can do all kinds of things, print media, digital
Yeah.
media, everything.
Yes, I was going to say it's not just in the hotels and it's not just on your audiobook site, but also you get the authors into media. I know you're getting us
Yes.
into magazines and
Yes, we are.
whatnot. So yeah, it's like an all-inclusive marketing campaign, which every author needs, right?
We say ABM, always be marketing.
Exactly.
But here's a hint for every author. You need to do something every single day. And if you don't know what to do, on my website, you can download a free 30-day book marketing guide. So we're happy to share that with anybody.
And that's at bedsidereading.com.
That is true.
And
Yes.
then please check out Show Her the Money book, the audio
Yes.
file. You all on this show are the first to hear about it. And that is at Bedside Reading Audio Books,
Yes.
plural.com. So check
Yes.
it out, everybody. Check out Jane Ubell-Meyer. She's amazing. And of course, you can follow me, Catherine Gray, on LinkedIn as well. Visit our websites, which are She Angel Investors, also the Silicon Valley Women Founders Fund. And of course, our movie, showherthemoneymovie.com, to join our movement to try to get more women funding. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. Thank you, Jane, for a great